Good morning, family. This is Shirley's World. Yes, I just came off a video and I'm doing another one. We have an urgent matter that's before us right now. And I can't wait till the morning because this is like real brewing within me. And I want to talk about a modern day lynching. A modern day lynching because, see, there's no clarification within the community of the conservative movement. And I am getting posting on my page about Charlie Kirk and Diamond and Silk and Black History Month and Black communities. And I'm going to keep it raw and real because, see, this is what I do. This is not a novelty for me. This is not for me to promote my books and my videos and for me to, but this is about real passion and issues for my community. And I am pissed right now. And I just came off of a 3-hour stream. And for me to come back on at this time of the night, and I see the community that's supposed to be part of my community, which is the voices of conservatives, not saying anything on their feed about the Black lynching and the modern day lynching and the lynching that took place tonight. A man was sniped out by the federal government, by the state of Alabama. And I don't see none of you conservatives on your social media who have a higher platform, that have a higher visual agenda, that are getting checks by donors, by white donors. Yes, I'm going to say a shout out to the white people who might take the time to watch this video. Shout out to those people because I want to discuss the fact that you are not discussing the fact that this Black man was just lynched. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about Nathaniel Woods. And if you don't know about Nathaniel Woods, well, then let me bring you up to speed because you're sleeping at the wheel. And we're going to talk about this because you want to talk about bringing people into the community and talk about the issues and policies that are divisive and destructive and destroying a nation of people. And yet you get out there and you talk about how we don't need reparations. We need to just leave the Democrat Party and vote for Trump. Now, I don't know what kind of idiotic notions are being taught and enforced within our community and within the conservative movement, but y'all need to stop this buffoonery because there are some of us who have been in this game a little bit longer and smarter than most of you out there who are not talking about the reality of what is needed to make government work for Black nations of people who are suppressed and who are attacked right now. And tonight, a Black man was lynched. Now, you might not care about this Black man, but Nathaniel Woods is an issue that is happening. And it's people who don't realize that this particular man was lynched. And I want to tell you about this story. I'm going to play this for you so that you can hear this story.
The controversial execution of Nathaniel Woods was carried out late Thursday in Alabama just minutes after the Supreme Court denied a temporary stay issued only hours earlier. Woods was pronounced dead at 9:01 p.m. local time, according to the Alabama Department of Corrections. Advocates had argued Woods, who was convicted in the murder of 3 police officers in 2004, did not directly take part in the slayings and should have his execution delayed. The decision came after Alabama Governor Ivey reviewed the letter requesting a reprieve from the death sentence, but said she would allow the execution to proceed. Governor Ivey does not presently intend to exercise her powers of commutation or reprieve in this case, General Counsel William G. Parker Jr. wrote. While Governor Ivey reserves the right to grant clemency at any time before an execution is carried out, she has determined, based on her review of the complete record, including the matters presented in your letter, that clemency for Mr. Woods at this hour is unwarranted. Woods, 44, was killed by lethal injection at the William C. Holman Correctional Facility in Edmore, Alabama. The fight is far from over. Nathaniel is an innocent man, and that will always be the truth. We are not giving up, the family said in a statement provided to ABC News. Supporters were calling for Ivey to grant a reprieve. As of Thursday morning, Ivey offered no sign that she would intervene in Williams' case, and it appeared the execution would go as planned.
So they executed him today. We had a modern day lynching be executed with this Black man. And y'all watching this video, I want you to know I'm pissed because you have all these conservatives, like they're not talking about it. Diamond and Silk's not talking about it. And this thing is trending right now. Everyone is appalled at this story. My good friends Afro at the African Diaspora Channel News, shout out to Phil Scott, who has over 1 million subscribers, who truly reaches out to the Black community. This gentleman right here in this channel, he reaches to the Black community. But you see, you guys don't know the community people. And I'm telling you, the community people are outraged about what happened to this man. Tariq is out in the community. We don't always see things perfectly eye to eye, but he definitely supports the FBA movement, which is the foundational Black movement. That's what he's part of. He has tweeted and repulsed by what happened. There's different people out there. Kim Kardashian has said something about it. She had provided this letter. She's going to school for her legal to be an attorney, as you guys know. There are many, many Black people, even people, I don't care if you don't like OJ, even OJ had something to say about it. What does OJ say?
Tweets. I try to talk about sports, football, and I try to keep it humorous and somewhat informative, I hope. But today, when I was getting ready to...
Hold on, I see in the chat room, I don't care if you don't like OJ Simpson. I really don't. That's not the point. That's the point that there's other people who have platforms that are speaking on this.
Go to Costco, which was an experience with this coronavirus scare. I was listening to my TV and something struck me, something I thought was horrible. It was a guy named Nathaniel Woods down in Alabama. Now, this guy was in a house with a friend. When some police officers came, I guess they wanted to talk to him and do something about some previous case. And while they were there, the friend flipped out. The friend flipped out, pulled a gun, and killed 3 police officers.
Not Nathaniel, the friend did. The friend.
The friend admits it was him. He admit he just flipped out, and that Mr. Woods had nothing to do with it, didn't know nothing about it. He just flipped out. I'm against the death penalty, but if you kill 3 cops or you're a serial killer or something, well, maybe you deserve capital punishment. In any event, tonight at 6 o'clock, they're planning to execute Mr. Woods, even though there's no premeditation or anything involved. They gave him a lawyer, a court-appointed lawyer that lost the case. Later on in his appeal, they gave him a lawyer who quit in the middle of the appeal.
Let me tell you, go to his Twitter and you can feel the rest of his story. The point I'm making is this. If we are going to talk about Republicans, this is a Republican video. If we're going to talk about Republicans that we're going to go into urban communities and we're going to start trying to get Blacks to go for Trump and we're going to get Blacks into the party and not to vote for Democrat, you need to talk about policies and principles that are destroying, that are divisive, that are structured, that are affecting Black communities. And if you're not going to do that, then what is your purpose? Is it your purpose just to get your videos and to be able to get all the donor money? Because I just showed you Diamond and Silk. They didn't have nobody. If you, they're not even talking, I'm sorry, they don't have anyone on their page talking about this subject matter. If you were to go to Charlie Kirk right now, and I know there's some Charlie Kirk haters on my side who are pissed because I'm going after Charlie Kirk. I'm just kind of sick of Charlie Kirk. Always everybody saying, "Oh, we got to give money to Charlie Kirk because he's helping Black communities." You may think Charlie Kirk is helping the Black communities. Charlie Kirk is not helping the Black communities. Charlie Kirk is about Charlie Kirk. And so when you realize that Charlie Kirk is about Charlie Kirk, you'll get it. But this man, he's not talking about this. So you don't see trenders, Twitter trending with him involved in this. And the reason why he's not going to get involved in this, because this doesn't equate to money or a book for him. But when you come to the issues within the community that are talked about on a current basis, on a daily basis, on a basis that are hot, this man was killed tonight. And all the people who I've supported and talked about are talking about it. The world is talking about it, but we're not talking about this man, Nathaniel Woods. And as conservatives, that is not a good thing. That is not a good thing, because you can't go before the president and just smile, lay hands, and have chicken dinners with a red hat. And let's just pray over the president and pray for his safety when your people are being killed and slaughtered and lynched in 2020. When your people are being ostracized. This man right here was murdered tonight. He was lynched. and he didn't do anything wrong. And his family was constantly fighting for him. Oh, but you guys in the conservative world, you're going to justify this. And yes, I am a conservative. And yes, I am a Republican. And yes, I am ashamed and appalled at every Republican who is not speaking in regards of the Black community for the embedder of a judicial system that has failed us, who has failed us and used us as targeting practice, used us for privatized prison, used us for economic growth, used us to get ahead, used us for monetization, used us so that immigrants and illegal immigrants can rise to the next level, and used us, and it gets old. History and time has prevailed and showed itself to that. So if you're going to go before power, like many of you guys did last month before the president, you didn't even have the audacity. And the White House didn't even have the audacity to say, I have a surprise for you that we are proposing a policies to implement within your community as our gift to you for Black History Month. Instead, what you did see was some more Negroes that sat before the president and feel like, oh, I got a chance to meet him. You know, this is no show and tell issues going on. This is reality. This is my life. This is my people's life. But if you ain't going to sit back and really have an agenda to present to the president, or at least speak on those issues, other than tell me about not voting Democrat and that we don't need reparations, reparations is part of this. We need legal protection. We need monies allocated through the federal government to realign ourselves of the wrongdoings that have been done through the judicial systems. That is part of reparations. But if you just think reparations are paycheck, then you stupid. Because that's not reparations. Reparations consist of a lot of things. There's reparations and compensation. The Freedmen Bureau Bank is a compensation piece of legislation that still should be restructured and looked at, but Congress did and stole from Black people. Because see, if we had legal representation of a financial level that would be right, like you heard in O.J. Simpson's video just now, he said the attorney quit. Somebody paid him off. They are paying off attorneys to keep us sniped and to publicly lynch us and to say deep, dark messages in another way. While you guys are having smoke and mirrors put into your face. This Black man is dead. Do you know why he's dead? It's because the judicial system of America did him wrong. Because the people didn't speak out, and because the people who did speak out didn't have a larger platform. And by the time they did, it was too late. They executed and they sniped him. So now on social media, we are outraged. And I've been tweeting about it. I've been reading about the tweets and again, over and over. Here we go. We have these 4 little Black girls who were killed in Alabama in 1963. Why? Because they were in church. Why? Because the Black church at that time, they bombed the church because the Black church was the foundation and there was the platform at that time where people were able to come together and congregate and talk about civil rights issues. But now these Black ministers that are with Mr. Trump are so happy to get a chicken dinner and a photo op and laying hands on the man. When you ask those same Black ministers, can we go in your church and talk about social justice issues? They won't even let us do that. Oh, I can't do it. I can't have, our church is not open to that. But guess what? You guys are tax exempt. You're tax exempt. You don't have to pay any taxes, but you won't have community conversations to discuss the issues of this Black man who was killed. Are you scared that you're going to have the same thing happen with the 4 little Black girls who were killed in 1963 for the bombing? That were alive, they were living, and they killed them live in the church. Okay? Here you have Kim Kardashian. She's talking about Nathaniel Woods. The government did not save his life. And she says, my hearts go out to the prayer of Nathan and his family. It's a tragedy. It's an example of injustice systems. In a few minutes, Nation had died. Well, he's dead now. For all you people who don't like Negroes, you should be happy. This Alabama state piece of legislation, who signed it off, the general counsel and the governor and everyone else signed it off, and now this man is dead. And he's dead because the failure of the system in itself. But what I'm pissed about, so that we don't get have clarity within this video, is that the Black voices for Trump and the Black voices for conservative movement are upset about something that happened in the Black community, but none of you guys are tweeting out about it. None of you guys are talking about your platform. None of you are going to take an hour doing a show or 30 minutes. You won't see Charlie Kirk online, but he'll get there and tell you his dissertation on how we don't need reparations. Ain't nobody ask you, little white boy, do we need reparations? Because you just are able to vote. You ain't even 30 years old. And you're going to sit up there. You ain't even been voting for 10 years. You're going to sit back and they give you all this money. They give you the money so they can circulate the money within their own communities, which in the political circles, but yet they don't have to give it back to the Black conservatives who are out here fighting on the front line. But again, we seem mad and upset, right? We're the insane ones. And see, that is not right. That is not fair. That is injustice and unrighteous acts that are done upon us. And let me tell you something. This is not just Black people talking about this man. You have white people talking about this man. You have Black people talking about. You have other people in the community that are talking about this man and the issues that took place in the judicial system. But if we, as a community, and we, and meaning the conservative community, are just going to say, just vote Trump in and vote Republicans in, that's not going to fix it. You need legislation. You need policies that are going to be aligned and reassessed and relooked at. And then they need to be changed. We don't need to be having discussions. We need to have execution. If we're not going to have execution, then what is this? Why the hell are you people up there stumping and humping and crumping for conservative movement, and yet you're not talking about real Black issues that just got carried out, a cold-blooded murder, modern day lynching? They're going to keep lynching us in these jails. They're going to lynch us on the streets. And yet you want all of us to keep being smiling and grinning and then don't say anything. Or you're going to get these white conservatives who have the voice. Even Ben Shapiro gets up there talking about the whole Black numbers and Black movement. That boy is Jewish. He don't have no Black friends, and he hangs around every day. He ain't even had probably no soul food or nothing. This is not a person whose culture is in our culture. You can't tell me that Ben Shapiro's in the Black community. He's quick to challenge you and talk about stats and numbers and data and do that very well. Everyone wants to debate, but no one wants to build a relationship. If you want to implement some type of ideologies, you need to build a relationship. You cannot sit back and see how this man is being killed. Now listen to this story.
Understanding and realize, today I came here to plead, get on my knees, and for the people just to come together and get an understanding and realize what's right is right. It's coming to the light, and that's done and said. It's coming to the light. It's coming to the light. Today I came here to plead, get on my knees, and for the people just to come together and get an understanding and realize what's right is right. It's coming to the light, and that's
See, and this is the problem with Black people. My heart goes out to this sister because she's crying for help. We keep thinking if we plead and we pray, that's going to fix the problem. It ain't. It's legislation. And the Republicans who are conservatives, who understand how the ideologies of policies work, and they're not really implementing that, then we're failing the Democrat mindset of the Blacks who are out there who think if we lay hands and touch, it's going to be it. The problem I have with the Blacks that have access to the president too, I look at these people, all y'all wear blue dresses, but you're not real Republicans. Because the Republican Party understands capitalism, they understand small businesses, entrepreneurship. But what we see here is that we have people who are pandering and perpetrating. And why am I going after them? Because they are the ones empowered to have a voice to the president outside of the celebrities. Thank God for Kim Kardashian and some of the rest of them, which I never thought I would be saying that. But at least they're coming with some sensible notion and ideas to talk about regarding the modern day lynchings and laws that are disrupted to our community that are not being fixed. Listen, here's a lady here, and she's not Black. And she is saying that we should pray for Nathaniel Woods.
Say a prayer for Nathaniel Woods. After having his last meal and conversations with family members, the Supreme Court granted him a stay. They've now rescinded it and he will be executed any minute. He is not the shooter. Everyone knows this, including Governor Woods. Travesty.
There are many people who are not Black who are talking about what? This modern day lynching. This modern day lynching that took place tonight. So I came on this video stream real quick and just wanted to share. I'm pissed. I know it's late. I know I just did a video, and it's crazy. It's crazy. It's frustrating for me to know that Black people today are still being lynched, and that Black people today are not having a conversation that talks about interacting within our community and dealing with the cases that are taking place. That the people like in Alabama who probably were fighting early and trying to get this man taken care of and resolved, unfortunately, it was too late. It was too late. He's dead now. But if you guys are talking about Black communities coming together that are Republican and Democrat, and the Democrat side is yelling, The liberal progressives are yelling. The people who are not Republican are yelling. Independents are yelling. But where's the conservatives? Where's the conservative voices? They are saying nothing. Do you know why they're not saying nothing? Because they don't care. They're happy to get the chicken dinner and the photo op and lay hands on somebody. And for me, that's hypocritical. That's hypocritical. That's not really congruent to what we need to talk about in our community. You know, too afraid to talk. I don't know if they're too afraid to talk or they too afraid to lose that check they're getting somewhere. And that's not good. It's not good at all. And that was not a good governor that did what he did. When many people were trying to say appeal this case because this was an innocent man. And it pisses me off that many people who were out there were unaware of what was going on. And here we are trying to go to bed and look, we wake up in the middle of the night just to learn that this evening they went ahead and they killed this man. They sniped this man. This man was lynched. This was a modern day lynching of Nathaniel Woods. So I wanted to say, let's say a prayer tonight. Please say a prayer for his family. Please say a prayer for the judicial system that something will be done. And let's talk about this conversation in the comments section. And you tell me this. If the Black voices for Trump are going to be silent, why do you call yourself a voice? When you're not even talking to the community and your voice is not even being heard and you're not speaking in our behalf. Because if you're not, then step aside and let people who have access to power do what is right versus do what is wrong. Thank you guys so much for chiming in. Make sure you like and put your comments below because your comments mean a lot to me. Make sure that you interact because what we say and how we think and how we interact will produce the outcome of a better America. This is not a Black or white issue. This is a judicial issue, a judicial system that is broken, that has targeted African-American people. But if Black voices are not going to speak as a whole versus part of a whole, we will never come together. Thank you and good night.